Go ahead.
All right, welcome back, riders. I'm here with John Krajnak, Park President, Six Flags Great America. First of all, thank you for having me out.
Thanks for coming out.
A lot of fun checking out the trains, the whole thing. We got something really good going here. So, got a handful of questions. So, first, let's take a step back and look at the ride concept as a whole.
Yep.
During the announcement, you mentioned Dr. Diabolical was kind of built for this area.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been thinking about a dive coaster? It must have been years, and kind of or what were the key factors to move forward with a dive coaster and Wrath ultimately?
I think it starts with how long have people been asking for a dive coaster, and that's a lot of years. Space is precious here at this park, and when we had some space that was clearing out, we tried to figure out what we could put in here and what might work. There was a concept for a dive coaster that had been created for this space, and they used that down in San Antonio, like I mentioned. But then we kind of pressed B&M to say, can we go a little bigger, a little longer, and get a little more creative? And they did that, and it's coming together, and it looks like it's going to deliver in a big way.
So also on announcement day, I had a personal conversation with you, and I just want to ask it again because I really liked your answer. So kind of asked you how the name Wrath of Rakshasa came to be.
Yep.
You mentioned kind of getting a blessing from some religious people. I was
We
wondering
did.
if you could talk about that.
Yeah, you bet. It's not part of the story of the ride, but when we were looking and considering what this ride is, we kind of wanted something a little more intimidating. We knew it was going to be right across the street from Demon, so we kind of used Demon as that tipping point, and we were heading down that rabbit hole of demon names, and Rakshasa kind of jumped out at us. Real strong, powerful. It's in Hindu lore, but it exists in kind of the gaming culture now too. You see Rakshasa around in different versions, but we talked to Hindu priests, we talked to some practicing Hindus, and found out that it's nothing offensive, it's nothing particularly evil. It's a powerful entity, and that got us inspired and motivated. So, and it's fun and it's creative, right? You can do generic names. You can recycle names. It's not what we wanted to do with this. This is unique and this is special. So we wanted a name that worked with that, and I think we got it.
Yeah, I know. I was really happy that you guys just didn't slap a DC comic character or anything, something really unique, and even went the extra mile, talking to the Hindu priests and stuff. I thought that was really cool. We don't want anybody coming in here upset with us. So. Right? Yeah, no, I understand completely. So you recently had a meeting with the Village of Gurney. I went ahead and watched that.
Okay.
You mentioned the market was pretty engaging, kind of like January and earlier with Sky Strikers, the first marketable capital in a number of years.
Yep.
And comparatively speaking, Wrath has been off the charts, you said. How does this affect excitement going forward and engagement? How does it impact your outlook going forward? Is it encouraging?
I'm trying to temper my own expectations. I come through Hometown Square and I see it, and it just seems to elevate. I mean, you talk about adding a B&M and what that can do for a park in a year, you really get excited. This just feels even beyond that. It feels special because of where it's sitting in the park, because of you can see it from the front gate, you see it when you walk through Hometown Square, you can walk right up to it, and I think guests are just going to be really blown away by where this ride is sitting. You see the sun shining on it. I love the colors, I love where it's sitting, I love that you can see the dive right through this whole front of the park. Make that decision, can I do this or not? To be able to see it, to hear it going through the track. There's no other ride at this park that you can do that. Everything's kind of out in the perimeter. You walk through to the portal to experience the ride, and that's it. This, you're walking under the dive, you're walking through it, around it, it passes over the Midway multiple times. It's different. So more inversions than any other dive. People in say, I've ridden dive, we're in this dive. So this is different. We're pushing it, and I think we're gonna see it.
I completely agree. Even just walking through Hometown Square, just kind of in front of Strutters, right there, front and center, right down the Midway. So
it was so exciting to have you and others here today to see what I've been able to see the last month or so as this thing is coming to life. This is, I think, feeling the enthusiasm. You see it, right? I mean, this is what guests are going to experience, and you don't get it until you're right here. You can see the pictures, you can see the animation. You got to see it in life.
You mentioned kind of wanting to see an overall concept through, complete package, kind of do it right. How do you feel about the progress so far, and is that vision coming together?
Yeah, the visuals for sure. Again, like I said, when we were very deliberate about the concept, we were very deliberate then what led to the colors. We used different iterations of Rakshasa through art over time to get to the color scheme. And we were particular about that. So when the steel showed up off the first truck, I was blown away. I said, that's awesome. I think the blue looked great. The gold on the columns looked spectacular. When the first train got here, I'm like, it felt like we nailed it. It feels really great. So seeing it come up in the air, I've gone on about that. Now it's the rest of it. Now it's the ride experience and some of the thematic and what's going to be in the queue line and the portal and the station and all of it. And there will be elements. I'll tell you that. You know, there will be elements in the queue. There'll be some stuff on the station. There'll be some stuff on the ride course too. So how that all comes together, we're working on it. So first things first, we want to show it off, and then we'll get to the rest.
Yeah. 88-year record low for snowfall in Chicago, so partly helped with construction, but have there been any unique challenges constructing this kind of the compact area, especially towards Demon over there? Has there been anything unique in that aspect?
Not a ton. I think they hit a few spots when they were digging underground and doing some of the foundation work, things that we were able to overcome pretty quickly. It's a positive about this space where we sit in this area in Illinois. Not too many surprises that way. We have a good relationship with the village, so working with them on permits and everything. Good relationship with the group that's done the foundation work, with the group that's putting up the ride. So there haven't been a ton of hang-ups. B&M is the best at what they do, right? So we're getting materials in here on time. So all those little things that can kind of hold you up, we're kind of powering through all of them. So not a lot of them. It gives me confidence that we're gonna get there, and we shouldn't be experiencing too many delays. So yeah,
perfect. It was originally announced there's going to be pass-through lockers, but then he kind of shifted to the moving bin system. What led to that change, and what benefits do you hope that's going to bring?
You mentioned San Antonio, and we kind of talked with them, and they were they're happy with their pass-through lockers, and they thought maybe we could do a little better, or they could do a little better down there too. And so we started poking around, and suggestion came up about something they were doing up in Canada. And they're now our sister park. Yeah. So got to see, I got a picture saw a YouTube video of these conveyors. It's something they created in-house for their dive coaster specifically. You know, you got loose articles that you walk across the track to the other side to unload. It slows things down. We want to move people. We want this to be efficient. So that is why that was the motivation for using this new conveyor system. And we went up there, flew up there, took our ops manager, we went up to look at it to have some confidence that this is something we can do. They had the confidence in it so much so that they've added it to other rides since they put it on their dive coaster. So that gave me confidence. They like it. It's working, right? Otherwise they wouldn't have kept going with it. So you're gonna get up to the station, load it in the compartments and containers that are there, then you load on the ride, then we take it from there. It's kind of like it was always told, and it really is like a dry cleaner system. It goes up and over the track, and when you get off the ride, it's timed up so that your stuff is waiting for you when you get off, nobody else's. You take it, and off you go, and next on through. It's really unique. I think it's another fun, creative element to the ride. Yeah. So who'd have thought loose articles would be kind of a fun, cool thing, but somehow we got it.
No, I completely agree with efficiency and stuff. I've done Yukon Striker, and I love it there. I think it's really efficient. It should really help with the operations here. So that's really cool. Will there be any netting installed over the park midways where the coaster kind of crosses over?
Most definitely. Safety first and always. We got to find where those spots are. We've got anticipation, working with the engineers as to where those will be. Kind of looking at where we're going to have the entrance for Demon and what we can do over there. Maybe get a little creative. It won't just be netting, but maybe something else that we can do to cover the guests as they're loading into the Demon ride. So I'll hold that for now. But we need to understand where the pockets are going to empty. So, but we'll have the netting in those appropriate spots and make sure that we're all safe in the midways.
That was going to be my last question, so I'll go ahead and skip to it. What work will need to go into Demon before it can reopen?
Portal. Yeah, we'll need a new entrance to it. We retain the old sign, but working with the creative group in the new organization, in the Cedar Fair group, has been a lot of fun. And so we've had some conversations with them about creating a new portal for Demon, and just the initial conversation got me excited because I think there's some fun ideas out there, and I want to be able to see it come together. So.
As long as you keep the song.
Yes. No, we sent it to them for some motivation, some creative inspiration. So we said, no, it's got its own song, it's got its own like little soundtrack, that old-timey news and everything. We put that all in their hands so they could get a little behind the project and all that. And this is where it came from. This is the story here. Here you go. Now go.
Fans of the channel know I love like custom audio and stuff. What you've done with Batman, even the Demon song, I love stuff like that. So I'm really happy you're keeping that around.
Still going on Demon, looking for the next project, so I want to keep going on that.
Perfect. Last question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned for Wrath of Rakshasa, it will be available on Flash Pass. Maybe not immediately once it opens, but once it eventually does, excuse me, will there be a separate queue all the way to the station for that, or are you going to have a merge point somewhere in there?
Got to figure it out. Got to figure it out. I've been in on some of the conversations. Be honest, I'll leave it to the pros, right? To kind of figure out the most efficient way to accomplish that. We like to, not have it blend too much, but, for the people on that experience to get them up there quick. So eventually we'll get there, but we'll get it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a second part to that. Will it be offered as like a one-time only, kind of like Max Force has been for a couple of years, or do you think it's going to be unlimited?
I'm not sure yet. Not sure. Same thing. We want to get confidence running the ride.
Yeah.
First, get the ops crew confident in cycling it, and then we know how we're moving folks through there, and then I think we can expand it to those unique offerings.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that's all I had. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Great talking to you as always.
Thanks for coming
really
out.
excited for this.
Good to see you again.
This summer.
Yeah,
Right?
most definitely.
All right. Thank you.
Be there.